All right, man. Peace. This is another quick video on KD and Draymond Green. This video is going to be called "Be a Man and Man Up." This is pertaining to KD and Draymond Green. Like I said, who had a fight during the championship run with the Warriors, and we all know about the whole entire situation that went down. Draymond Green, yelling at Kevin Durant. He was sick and tired of it, and a lot of people try to blame this whole entire situation on the reason as to why KD left. And I feel like it's much more than that, because the thing about it is, if you watch that little sit down, Kevin Durant and Draymond Green talked about his departure from the Warriors. Uh, I feel like these two emotional ass dude, like try to blame it on the Warriors, the Warrior organization and Coach Kerr, which I believe is just a little bit stupid for these two individuals who are grown as men. Instead of squashing it, they just, like I said, decide to blame it on the Warriors and Coach Kerr. Because this situation would have been a lot better handled if these two would have just man up and just talk to each other about it. Because I ain't gonna lie, I've played sports all my life, and I know situations like that. You and your team may get in a fight. You don't even want to play for the team. I experienced that quite a lot. Especially when you're playing with Somali, Ethiopians, or Kenyan motherfuckers. They always get in the fight, and shit happens. Dudes don't want to come to practice anymore. And it's just over petty shit like not passing the ball, not being at the right spot at the right time. A lot of people, take the game to heart. And I understand, like, it's a game. You're supposed to take it very serious, but shit happens. But I just think it's a little bit of cop out on how these two individuals, who could have squashed this shit, end up blaming it on the Warriors and Kerr. And like I said, I've been in a situation like that. For example, I had an incident with my neighbor. It wasn't really an incident, but they always have trash, like, hanging out on the back balcony, and that shit would just pile up and pile up and pile up, you know. And that shit was causing a lot of flies and roaches because I live at the bottom level in my apartment. So, and I was kind of getting irritated. So, I could have been a bitch by going to the apartment management and tell them, like, hey, this person's blah blah blah. It's like it's been quite a while. They haven't taken the trash out. They're just stacking it on the balcony. And it's causing a lot of roaches to kind of crawl to my area. But as a man, I had to man up and actually go up there and kind of be like, what, hey, you talk to them talk to them myself. Because that was the right thing to do, because you don't want to take away anybody's livelihood, get a warning, going to get, because I just make them more mad. So why in the world will Draymond Green and Kevin Durant rely on the Warrior front, the Warriors and Coach Kerr to be the person to bring them together to try to apologize to each other when they can handle this shit like a man? So in retrospect, I went and talked to my neighbor. He's like, all right, man, I appreciate you talking to me about it, pounded, that was it. Noticing he had a kid too, so I would have said something, that would have kind of, get in the way of how his life. I didn't want him to get kicked out. It's the same thing with playing soccer too. You know, most of the time I talk to my teammate about some shit. I had the same experience in the Navy where somebody stepped out of line with me. I'd have been like, I could have gone talk to my RDC when I was in boot camp. I didn't want shit to happen to his hard car. So I went to him like a man, talked to him about it, like, hey, you're being a little bit disrespectful. They will tend to, even though it's like you don't want, a lot of people don't like a confrontation. But if you talk to most people about it, I'm pretty sure, like, the outcome becomes really good, And most of the time when I handle shit like a man, and just talk to the person, the outcome mostly end up being good, But these two little boys over here talking about it's the Warrior, it's the Warrior fault as to why KD left when they both could have just squashed it. So Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless going to have a little segment about it, talking about the situation. And I'm going to chime in.
No, I'm not buying it, Skip. Because what they're doing is that they're focusing on the handling of it. and not focusing on the incident and what got them to the point. I don't get what was going to change? Skip, I believe had KD been healthy, they still would have won the title. So it wasn't like this incident caused them not to win the title, or it drove a wedge between them that it became intolerable, an untenable situation.
Yep.
That's not what happened. Whatever happened to personal responsibility?
There you go. Whatever to personal responsibility. These two guys are trying to be a cop-out and not. They want to blame it on somebody else, which is quite stupid. You guys are two grown men. Draymond Green, you always running your mouth about men being a macho man, all that shit, talking, acting up on the court. But you telling me you couldn't man up and talk to KD? You're gonna have to like throw a fit around the whole entire goddamn locker room, walking around. You know, like I said, I had to own up to a lot of my shit and take responsibility for it. If I had a problem with somebody, I don't go to nobody higher up above them and try to complain about it, because I saw this a lot in the workplace. A lot of people, instead of just handling shit like as co-workers, they try to go to management and try to get somebody fired, which is cowardly to me, and it's quite stupid. Everybody snitching, telling all this shit, that creates such a hazardous work environment. And that's the shit that happens because these two girls, matter of fact, right, these two girls was handling shit like children. Why in the world are you guys literally mad at each other every single day, throwing a fit because of some incident? You are literally disrupting the chemistry of the team, because Draymond Green been on the team for quite a while. So a lot more players have loyalty to him, and KD being the person who's just coming in, even though he's a great player, they're like, they're like seniority, man. Draymond had more seniority over the team than KD did. So KD felt like he was left alone, nobody to back him up and all that shit. And Draymond Green, overexerting himself because he knows he has seniority on the team. And he thinks he's one of the leader on the team too. So he felt like that gave him the permission to come out of his mouth. But these are two grown-ass men who could have taken responsibility for their action. But they were both acting feminine as hell.
Personal accountability. Draymond, you said something that you shouldn't have said. Okay, I get it. You want to go apologize to KD? What Bob Myers and Steve Kerr tried to do is to let KD know we got your back. That we're not going to just let this slide up under the rug because Draymond has been here. He's one of the staples of this.
The thing about this whole entire situation, this shit shouldn't have dragged on any much longer. If Kerr and Bob Myers said they got KD's back, they could have literally pulled these two off the court and go in the locker room and squash this shit out like a man. They both would have been like, hey man, I apologize, it's we in the heat of the game right now, shit's happening. We're not really thinking clearly, pertaining to each other emotions and how each other's feeling, and we just try to win. Because that was the thing that was on their mind. It wasn't concerned about, each other feelings and shit. They could have got both of them off the court, you know what I'm saying? Take them to the locker room, put somebody in the meantime, and squash it up. And I guarantee you, without a doubt, that both would have came out fucking that whole entire court up. And you got to understand, too, some of these white coaches or these GMs, these assistant men, sometimes they're scared to lose talent. They're scared to lose certain players or make certain players, feel a certain way. So they try to mind their own business. Because for the most time, you can't really tell the athletes shit. And they're hard-headed, especially when you're making millions and millions of dollars. And most of these coach jobs, these GM jobs, it depends on making the players happy and keeping them in a positive mindset. So they try to kind of stay away from a certain situation and beef, which is the wrong thing to do. You're the coach. Because I played soccer before where we were both fighting with each other on the court. field, coach will pull us out. Be like, going. We both sit there, talk about it, squash it right on the sideline, and then throw us back in the game. And we end up winning. And some other time, like chemistry just end up working out well. Like, damn, you pissed me off, but damn, I respect this dude as a teammate. He's very talented. Let's eat together and shit. I've had that happen many times playing soccer. Let's continue.
Organization. But we're not going to let this slide. We are going to punish him. They mentioned the incident, Skip. If I'm not mistaken, they said when Scottie Pippen wouldn't go in the game, KD said when Scottie wouldn't go in the game, everybody came. So what?
In the locker room.
In the locker room, I have to say, Scottie, that was messed up.
Yeah,
that was messed up.
Yes.
Okay, so if Steph and Clay and everybody comes and say, Draymond, you should have done that. What does Bob Myers and Steve Kerr have to do with that?
The thing about Steph Curry, I mean not Steph Curry, but Curry and Klay Thompson, they're both passive aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Those are two light skinned niggas. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody can tell Dre shit. You know what I'm saying? These guys are attached to corporate sponsorship. You know what I'm saying? They are not trying to fuck up their money. So at the end of the day, they'll try to stay out of each other's way and win again, get their money, and bounce. You know?
Phil didn't say anything. When Jordan hit Steve Kerr in the eye, they didn't address it as a team. Jordan called Steve and said, Steve, my bad.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I let my emotions get the best of me, bro. And guess what? In a championship moment, he passed the ball to Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr hit the shot.
You see what I was just talking about that, too. I was just talking about that. I had numerous situations like this growing up where players are fighting, and I've gotten a little tussle with a certain player, too, and we got out, squash it, shake hands, and went back in. Chemistry becomes 10 times better, and we dominated. That shit should have just been handled right there on the sideline, walked this to the locker room, and squashed it. And I guarantee you, they could have came back out better than ever. So I think they have no reason to blame the coach at all. It's both of their fault. Both was acting childish. Both was thinking about themselves. Both was being overly emotional and not thinking about other players and how they felt about the situation. And then fuck the team chemistry up. Both are mama's boy anyways.
So I'm trying to skip out, and I went back and listened to it again. I believe at the start of the season, Kevin Durant had made his mind up 99%. I'm leaving. I believe the 0.5 or the 1% that was left solidified it. But it seemed to me, and listen to KD talk, KD's like, well, I needed a new challenge. I needed to move on. I don't believe had Bob Myers and Steve Kerr addressed this as a team, say, guys, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about this in front of the team. Me, I started playing organized sports, Skip, in 1977 and played until 2003. And you know there's a lot of testosterone that goes in the locker room. I've seen a lot of fights. High school, college, and the pros. I don't recall us ever addressing a fight as a team. I don't remember now. It could have slipped my memory. Guys, we get, whomever the fight's between, bro, how we make this, because, we got to move forward. I just don't understand how they think Bob Myers and Steve Kerr. So what was it going to change? If they address it as a team, is KD staying? If they address it as a team, are they going to win the title? You didn't win the title because KD got hurt. That argument didn't have anything with you not winning.
In my opinion, I think KD purposely decided not to play and fake an injury because he was so done with how he felt like the Warriors was treating him. A lot of these guys fake their fucking injuries anyways and be lying as hell. But they be in the gym fucking like speeding up down the court and shit, doing God knows what. Anytime this player talk about they have injury, fuck out of here. They be lying up their ass.
Title, Skip, it did not drive a wedge. I'm glad to see, Skip, it seems to me they put this behind them. Sometimes things like this happen, and it's never, ever the same.
You got that right.
So for them to move past the special...
Of course, it was never, ever the same, Shannon Sharp, because it's two mama's boy, overly emotional girls, you know, like, they decided to make it this way when they could have actually squashed it. They're two grown-ass men. It should have never, ever been, like, man, first of all, KD acting like Draymond Green came up in the media and just bashed the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, these guys are quite emotional, you know what I'm saying? So, like, things could have been different. These motherfuckers just want a goddamn gold medal together. I'm pretty sure it was not that serious to the point this dude literally, like, said, fuck it, I'm out. Like, it's a game. Like, I have played sports. I know how he felt. You know? You get mad when somebody yell at you like, damn, like, get off my ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing the best I can. Shit happens. The first thing you could have done is, hey, man, I didn't appreciate what you say. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Let's squash this, you know? I'm pretty sure if KD would have approached Draymond Green like that, boom, situation would have not escalated the way it did.
Sometimes we hold on to things.
Yep.
And I'm a firm believer, Skip, you can let things come between. They seem to be with friends before. And don't let an incident like this drive a wedge between you, that you were great friends and somebody in the heat of a moment said something. But I'm going to disagree in this situation. I do not believe the handling of this caused anything. KD wasn't going to stay if they had handled it better, because the incident happened. That's on Draymond. You let your emotions get the best of you because KD was clapping about passing the ball, and you like, bro, I done bought the ball up in championship games before. This is a regular season game. I'm going to give you the ball. Just get your ass up the court. And KD like, okay, oh, bro, that's how you feel about me? But Bob Myers and Steve Kerr, there was nothing they could have done that was going to change the outcome. He was leaving after the season, with or without addressing this as a team.
Okay.
No.
Yep, Shannon Sharp was spot on, and he was right. You know? Because these two guys, like I'm saying, they're grown-ass adult. They, like, honestly, I believe KD would have stayed if he would have just manned up and kind of just approached Draymond Green about the situation and be like, hey, I didn't appreciate the way you treated me. Like, hey, let's talk about this, you know, off the record. But you know what it is. These guys, once the media get their hands on something, they feel like, damn, that's it. I gotta bounce. You know? These guys have the ability to change their narrative based on how they conduct themselves instead of letting the media dictate it. Because these guys let the media get in their head too much. Way too much. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, shit happens. If you're out there, you're listening, if you ever get in a situation where somebody, it's better just to squash it there. You know, if you want to take a couple minutes off, days off, or don't let it just manifest or metastasize and goes on long enough. Just squash it and get it over with. But shit could have been handled a little more differently, and they should not blame Kerr nor the Warriors GM at all. These are two grown-ass men that need to take responsibility for their action. So, be a man and man up. Peace.